say, "Hey, it was nice meeting you, Andrew," and I'm just like, "Yeah, what was your name again?" Like, I mean, it's so easy to forget. You're like,
Welcome to the Sunny Side Up podcast. I'm your host, David, and today we have my brother, Andrew. Today we're going to talk about how to be likable and influence people. Not influence, but just make a good first impression. So now we're going to start off with a bad example. This is what not to do, and then we're going to move on to what you should do and just talk about it. So, oh, hey, Andrew, I heard about you in the work meeting. I'm from the purchasing department.
"Oh, okay, nice. What was your name?"
David.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard really good things about you. I've been really excited to meet you.
Yeah, cool, man. That's nice. Wait, what was your name again?
Yeah, so that's not a very good one. Like, if you can't remember somebody's name right after they just said it to you, that's
Yeah.
like
that's
you were looking at your phone. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Disinterested.
Like, obviously you don't care to meet me, and it's pretty apparent. And I mean, not a good first impression. So, and I heard that like after a bad first impression, it takes 8 subsequent impressions to change somebody's mind.
I almost feel like it'd be harder. I almost feel like it's impossible to change somebody's mind. For like a lot of people, I don't think they would even come back around to you, if you had a really bad first impression.
And I think like sometimes like people, it's like depending on the person, but yeah, some people can like, you can kind of win them back over again, but like other people is just like history. Like I feel like I'm kind of that way sometimes.
With people?
Yeah, like if somebody, like if somebody like rubs me the wrong way, it's just like
the impression is made so quickly too. It's like 5 seconds, and if you kind of screw it up, I think you have a bad taste in your mouth for
and like,
a long time.
I heard with like a lot of times with billionaires, because like they have so many people in their circle. Like if you screw them over once, like done. Out of my phone, like I don't know the next one. Because like I mean, they have so many people to talk to or to call. It's
Absolutely.
Like, why should I waste my time with you again if you already wasted it once?
Right.
Yeah, like so. A good first impression is made up of a lot of things, like a firm handshake. Like when I meet somebody and they give me the dead fish handshake, and it's just like shaking hands with like a dead fish. It's like that's like a big no for me, because like when I meet somebody, like especially a man, like I want to shake their hand and feel what their hand feels like. I don't want to just shake like a little squish toy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that and then like I find that, and especially nowadays, like really good when you can ask questions. Like when somebody asks questions to me, because like I want to know that I'm not talking to a wall.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking about that too. It's if in any conversation, to be a good conversationalist, they say that you should actually talk like 25% of the conversation and listen 75%.
Yeah.
And I actually I remember reading something, maybe it was in one of the books, How to Win Friends and Influence People, or something else, but I thought I heard that there was like some study done that said somebody, literally, it was a social experiment. They went into a party full of people. They knew nobody knew this person, and I think they were basically asked to either almost like not say anything and purely listen, or I mean, just basically say the basic things, obviously, right? But really listen and not talk anything about themselves. And after the party, the people in the party were kind of like polled, and they're asked, what was your impression of this person? And like everybody said, yes, this person was like so nice, and they didn't even say a word. It was just like all about listening, right? So it tells you how far that goes with some people, with everybody, really.
I think especially when I've met people that just all they do is talk about themselves, that gets old real fast.
Oh yeah,
because like especially, I mean, I think I can like pick up on that. It's like when somebody does that.
Oh yeah, you can pick up that pretty easy, I
Yeah,
think.
it's just it's annoying, and it's rude to just completely just take over the conversation. And I'm the best at this. I'm the like,
Yeah.
okay, Mr. Wonderful. Like,
What was the I had written this down as I like to quote. It was to your point there. It says, yeah, the easiest way to make friends is by becoming interested in other people instead of trying to make other people interested in you.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, I think.
I mean, there's not very many people on the planet that are like extraordinarily interesting. Like every day of their life is something incredible. And it's like whenever people try to make themselves sound that way, it just comes off as very needy.
Right.
Yeah. And it's just like it. Like I said, it's rude to just completely take over the conversation, and you sound very like just I need attention and like I need everything to be centered around me, and it's just that's not natural.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't like that. One thing that I'm working on is talking slower, and especially doing a podcast. Like I need to teach myself how to sound or enunciate my words clearer. And I noticed too. I think when people talk quickly, I think usually it's a sign of insecurity with conversation, because it seems like, at least in my experience, the people that talk really quickly are worried about being cut off because they usually are.
Yeah.
And I think if you are confident in what you say, you don't need to talk quickly and just spit it out before somebody cuts you off.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm thinking there's a couple people that come to mind that they talk slowly and they talk with intent. Like they look at you and they're enthusiastic about what they say, and they're not waiting for that person's response necessarily, but they know that what they say is interesting, and they're confident in that, and they don't need to quick spit it out before they get cut off.
I think, yeah, I agree with that generally. I think the people who I've seen that have a lot of influence are, if you're in a room full of people and it's a meeting or whatever and everybody's talking, yeah, there's those people who are very fast and like nervous maybe and all this. But I think the ones who are who are usually in the highest positions that are actually like good leaders, I think they usually don't say stuff for a long time. But when they do, yeah, very slow, very clear. Yeah, there's something to be said about that. I think though too, the other thing is, especially when you're meeting somebody new, a lot of many people like themselves. And I think a good trick to get that person also to like you is to emulate their way of speaking, right? So if they are a fast talker and you're not a fast talker, I think you should actually try to speed up, try to match their tone, and all that. Because I think, I don't know, that goes a long way in getting them to kind of make them feel more at home, I guess, in a way. So same thing. If you're a fast talker and somebody's really slow, I always try to bring myself down to that level too, you don't have to go crazy with it, right? But I think that's appreciated on both sides.
And I don't think the people that are overly, they talk fast and I'm just thinking in a situation where maybe there's a argument or a fight and there's some kind of a moderator. Who are you going to listen to more? The one that's very calm, even keel, they have things under control, or the one that's waving their arms around and talking real fast and they're just irate? It's
irate, well,
who are you going to listen to?
Yeah.
Who does your ears want to listen to?
Yeah, the calm and collective one. Yeah.
And that's another point too, is with a first impression. If you're at, say, a car dealership and you have an issue, what method is going to get you further? A, introducing yourself in a calm way, say, I have an issue, I need to fix, can you help me? Or coming in, you didn't fix this the last time, and you just come in on the muscle. It's like, well, that person is going to automatically just dig in their heels and entrench themselves, and then be mad. What is this person doing coming at me at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
on the muscle. It's like that's never going to get you very far. I mean, it may get you to speak to the manager, like the Karen situation, but it's never
dealing with those people.
Yeah, it's never like the best long term way to handle yourself.
Yeah,
because you're immediately making an enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I buy so much stuff online too, like Facebook Marketplace and all, and and I think a lot of people, myself included, feel like tense, and because there's probably going to be some negotiation as part of it, right? But yeah, if you come to this person, like nobody's trying to like be mean. I mean, some people are just like nasty, but if you come to this person and say, hey, like I really, you're I don't know, your bedroom set looks super nice, and kind of like comment on them a little bit. There's no reason to like, go hardcore right into the negotiation. It's like, okay, I don't want to do that. If I'm selling something and somebody's coming at me like, no, $50 or nothing, I'm like,
do you want to fight?
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, but if somebody just kind of starts conversation, I'm so much more, likely to probably give them a deal. If that's just the way I think, and I think most people would probably agree.
Yeah, and whether or not you're a salesperson for your job, your whole life is sales in some way, shape, or form. I mean, you're in the case of going for a Facebook Marketplace deal, that's a sales interaction. But there's a lot of sales techniques and tactics that apply to everything.
Yeah,
not just your job, but I mean just the idea of being friendly, open, charming, not just being real abrasive right off the bat, because that's what are you doing? Like, that's a waste of your energy to be all tensed up and mad.
Yeah,
and it's not going to get you very far. Because not only are you not going to you're less likely to get that deal done, but you're going to make a new enemy, which is, why would you do that when you can just make a friend?
Yeah.
Complimenting people goes a long way. And I think I would think more for men than for women, because a lot of men can walk through their entire life and never get complimented ever. So I think you should compliment everybody, but if you can compliment a man about something, especially if you're a woman complimenting a man, he will remember that for the rest of his life. Yep. He will die and on his deathbed think, remember that time? Like, men will remember that forever. But in the sense of meeting people, if you can say, hey, I like that shirt, it looks really good on you. And actually look at them in the eye and say it with spunk, and I mean, that's an immediate, this person is with it and they like
I'm never
me.
Getting rid of this shirt now.
You're gonna have stains. Your shirt's gonna be ripped up, but you're still gonna wear it. Like, that's because you're gonna think, remember that time when so and so like that. That's a great way to start an interaction, even if it's not with business, but just meeting.
Your guard is just like down immediately. You're kind of like, this person's friendly, Actually, this happened to me just recently. I was just at a bar just the other day, and some guy it was a guy too. It was a guy complimenting me. He was sitting like at the table next to me, and he kind of like made some motion or something like this, and looked like he was talking about my glasses or something. And I couldn't hear him, so I walked over to him, and he said, "Oh man, I really like your glasses. Where'd you get them?" So I don't know. Just started a conversation, but very friendly. Now I'll probably never get rid of those glasses.
It's just,
I love those glasses.
It's a good way to, and that's another thing too, is like when you're meeting somebody, if you can lower their guard quickly, it makes the interaction so much easier. Because I would think that the main reason why people avoid going up is that tension, like that. I don't know you yet.
Nervous.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what your personality's like. But if you can, like, the quicker that you can lower their kind of introvert guard, I guess, I think the better you're going to be just in any conversation. Because again, it's, if you're at a networking event for anything, you're in a room full of people that you don't know. But if you can just pick a couple people out that you they look like somebody that might like cars or they might work out or whatever. You can just pick them out and just start with a compliment, be friendly.
Yeah.
That's gonna make them, oh, well, here's somebody in this big group of people that I can talk to, and not just sit here awkwardly waiting for the event to be done.
Too, I mean, if we talk soon, I think about like the smiling, whether it's talking or whatever, but like, if you said nothing, I mean, you would be so much more approachable. I think a lot of people would come up to you if you just literally smiled and like, it just kind of had these cues, like you're nodding your head, you're smiling, people are going to be like, okay, like this guy's not a grumpy guy. And I think they'll be much more likely to approach you too.
And don't overdo it. Like,
yeah, right.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that. If somebody's just a simple act of smiling, I think you can say more with smiling than you can say with your words.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just kind of like your overall persona. And if you just come across friendly, and you don't have to say anything, just smile and nod your head.
I think, well, we talked about this too. It's like, nowadays, I mean, I find myself, I sit at work for 8 hours a day, right? And, I meet so many people over the phone. A lot of times we don't have the Skype thing going, right? The video camera and all, but like, that you can hear when somebody's smiling. That's so important too. Cause when I meet somebody and I can tell, you can just, I don't know how to describe it, but you can hear when somebody's smiling on the other side. You already kind of associate that person with a nice, nice personality too. So, whether you're sitting at home in your underwear at like work call or you're outside, meeting people
in your underwear.
Hopefully not. but yeah, that goes a long way, I think, too. So.
So yeah, I heard that with smiling, you can smile with your mouth, and that's a fake smile. But when you actually smile and you're laughing, your eyes kind of like squinch up,
right?
And that's a thing that like people can tell, because when you're laughing, you're actually finding something funny. Like you're actually, your tears coming out of your eyes. You're really laughing. You can't fake that, obviously.
I just thought too, like these last years with COVID and the masks, like the only way somebody knew if you're smiling or like, was like really with your eyes. So,
I saw a meme and it was somebody learned just how to squint their eyes, but their mouth was just nothing.
Yeah.
It's like the COVID laugh.
Yeah, right. I love those memes that it's like, now you have to remember not to like be all frowny and grumpy because you have no mask to cover it. Yeah.
But yeah, that smiling with your eyes. And I remember the Mythbusters did an experiment. They had, I think the myth was that women are more socially aware of expressions than men are, and so they had like 5 women and 5 men, and they only showed the eyes. They didn't show any rest of the face, just the eyes of like anger, excitement, happiness, and whatever the other ones were. But they were able to tell, just the only thing you can see is the eyes. Kind of like those, like the Muslim women that just have their whole head is covered except for their eyes. That's like all that they saw of these like pictures of the people, but you can still tell, oh, this person looks happy, this person looks mad.
Yeah, easily, yeah.
But especially if you can combine that with the rest of the expression on your face, that's going to help alleviate some tension. Like, okay, I can relax because this person's relaxed. They're relaxed enough to laugh at something that I said and just calm down.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Another one is, we were talking about talking on the phone, but when you're in person, putting your phone away. And
it should be undivided attention. Like, I mean, there's no reason to be focused on anything else. I mean, I even see that too. Again, when we're on meetings, I hate it too. And it's like, okay, it's one thing if your camera's off and you're talking to somebody and they're maybe typing and doing an email. Like, you can't really see that. But so many times I feel like, when somebody's looking at you and listening to you when they're on the camera, and when they're looking down at something else. Cause like, I've seen so many people in a meeting, I'll be talking to them and it's like just us, nobody else in the conversation, and I'll see them like this, you know, like you can tell they're looking down and texting at their phone. I'm like, okay,
Like,
can't
buddy,
you
I
give
can
me
still
2 minutes?
see you.
I know. Can't you give me 2 minutes here? So yeah, the phone should just never be there. Right?
Yeah. And if you have to respond to something, say, I'm sorry, but I have to respond to this.
Yeah,
And
right.
then
Yeah,
respond, and
yeah.
then
That's perfectly fine, right? At least, yeah. It's like why let somebody go on and on and on?
yeah.
And yeah, you're barely talking or listening to them. So
I mean, obviously, an optimal conversation is no phones at all.
mm-hmm.
But I would feel much more respected if somebody says, "Can you hold that thought? I have to respond to this.
Right.
It's urgent."
Yeah. Everybody would understand that. I would
Is it?
hope so.
I remember one instance in high school, and I'm sure this happened more than once, but I was talking to somebody, just having a conversation, and that person must have gotten bored because he just pulled out his phone and started scrolling. Like, it wasn't texting. It was just, oh yeah, just scrolling through Instagram. It's like, okay, well, I guess this is my cue to leave now because you're not even, this is boring for you. So bye.
It's like when, what was it? Steve Martin was reading the vomit bag.
Yeah. Yeah. And Planes, Trains, Automobiles, Steve Martin is talking to John Candy, and John Candy is so annoying to him and just like blah, 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 that he gets the vomit bag out of the seat in front of him and just reads the instructions.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty rude. Like when you just are on your phone when somebody's talking, I'm like, dude,
that just makes a very bad impression on somebody. Yeah.
Maybe some people don't mind, but I mind. That's bad. This is kind of a general topic of the whole episode, but just being genuine, because it's not hard to tell when somebody is
faking it, or
because looking away, or they're looking at you, but you can tell, like, can you stop talking, please? I don't really want to.
It's hard, you know.
Anymore.
We were talking about this too earlier. It's like, I mean, to be a great conversationalist and to get a really good impression from somebody, it's like a muscle that's like as hard as it can be. You got to really exercise that,
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, people's attention span is only so long. I feel like, even yourself, right? So you really have to try it. It's something. It doesn't come easy, for sure.
No.
Yeah. So I think the people who you find in the world that are really likable, I'm sure they weren't always like that. They've just been continually practicing it over and over and over again. And it's very apparent when somebody is very likable, because it means they spend a lot of time with that, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, some people everybody can talk, everybody can listen, but it doesn't mean that you're good at it. And like, we've all known people that are really good at speaking, and they not only in a public speaking setting, but just one-on-one, they really capture your attention. They're they're engaged or showing signs that they're interested. And the same thing for listening.
I was gonna say, like, there's so many courses and classes on how to be a good public speaker. There should be the same on how to be a good public listener.
Yeah.
There'd be so many, like, people would just be so much better if they took a class like that, honestly.
Especially now, because like we said, the phones, we're distracting ourselves, and that's just another hindrance to our ability to listen to people effectively. And if there's courses on a topic, that means that there's a lack of knowledge in the population of that area. So if there's tons of courses on how to speak, that must mean maybe there's something about speaking that I don't know,
right?
Because obviously somebody is an expert enough to teach it. There's courses on everything. There's a course on how to be more hydrated.
Well, if anybody steals my course on how to be a public listener, I get a royalty from this. You heard it here first.
It was like, how to be more hydrated. Drink water. Done. But good for the person that made it, because they're making money.
I'm sure they're making tons off of that.
Another one is to be open-minded. And nothing is more frustrating than talking to somebody, just displaying your viewpoint or your opinion, and nope, you're wrong. Nope, this is how it is.
Yeah.
And the whole conversation goes like that.
That book, how honestly, I think if you were to read like one book on just how to be a good person, it would be that How to Win Friends and Influence People. It was Dale Carnegie. So he,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean that book has so many things, and I think that's a book that again, just like you were talking with the muscle idea, you got to exercise it. Like that's a book I think that you need to read over and over again. Like you don't just read it once and forget about it because there's so many things
Yeah.
that you kind of like need to practice consistently, and you can forget about it easily. But yeah, he talks so much about that. It's like um, people don't like disagreeable people. It's like, yeah, okay, you might not have the same opinion as that person, but you don't like put that in their face and put them down for having that opinion. You know, you
Hmm.
can politely disagree and show your side. I know some people who are just like everything I say they disagree with, and I'm like, come on now, like there's got to
Yeah.
be something. Like you don't have to always prove yourself or make me look wrong. You know, it's just like no, you know.
I've met a couple people that no matter what you say or what you do,
hmm
it's always wrong.
Yep.
It's like they always have a better way to do
hmm
something, or they always have a, oh, that's crazy, but my experience was
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
crazier.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, they call those people toppers.
hmm
Like they one up you in every thing or every metric that you have. It's
hmm
like, you know how annoying that is?
yeah.
Like, I wish somebody would just do that to you so you can realize, wait, have I been this just disagreeable and annoying the whole time?
Yeah.
It's just, it's almost impossible for you to have a better way of doing something or a more extraordinary experience every single time. Like, what kind of life are you living
Yeah.
that's actually the case?
Yeah. The only person like that is the most interesting man alive.
Yeah, the Dos Equis guy.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, unless you're him,
yeah.
cut it. Um,
yeah.
we talk about being needy
hmm
and just, yeah, like,
Yeah.
and
Right.
especially when somebody is always topping your conversation, like,
It's like that neediness
yeah,
is
like
shining through
why do you need somebody to know all this
there.
stuff about you? Like,
hmm
why do you need somebody to know that you're smarter than me, that
hmm
your life is more interesting? It's like,
Yeah.
if it really was, you wouldn't be concerned with telling people how awesome you are. People would just know
Yeah.
because, oh, that's so and so from the Dos Equis commercial.
Yeah.
He can slam revolving doors. Like, it just
yeah.
like you don't need to broadcast that. It's already public knowledge.
hmm We talked about what was the other thing? Remembering people's names, how important that is too. You know, I think,
Yeah.
man, if yeah, I feel like I could say if you were only to take away one thing from this episode, it would be blah. But like, there's so many things. But this is such another good thing. It's like, you know, the people, especially I've met some people, and like after one interaction, they'll say, "Hey, it was nice meeting you, Andrew," and I'm just like, "Yeah, what was your name again?" like, I mean, it's so easy to
Yeah.
forget. You're like, but yeah, you know, I've been really trying to focus on that, especially because I'm in a sales role, right? So you know, every interaction counts, right? I mean, you might not be selling something to that person that day or next year even, but like all the contacts you make, it's very important to make a good impression, right? But yeah, like if you can just remember that person's name, I'm sure that person will say, yeah, Andrew or whoever it is also, you know, a pretty decent person if they could just do that, because it means that you cared enough to take the time and remember it somehow. And I think my trick we were talking earlier too is like, in the second I meet somebody, I will associate their name with either a person I know. So if I met Raymond's, I would associate that person with our old next door neighbor Ray, or just something. You know, like I met a nice lady yesterday named Grace, and I associated that with like praying, you know, saying grace. So like just these things just help remember. You know, anything you can do
Mhm.
like that will really go a long way, I think.
Yeah.
And
Instead of
yeah.
just saying, "Yeah, great to meet you, champ."
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, this person just forgot my
yeah,
name.
exactly. Right. Right.
um, Another good one is like when you meet somebody is confident body language
Mm-hmm.
because 90% or more than 90% of communication is nonverbal.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think what I say, how would it sound if somebody were to read the text
Mm-hmm.
or subtitles?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, somebody's more animated and they're looking at you in the eyes and they have
Mm-hmm.
wide eyes and they're or spunky, it's like, okay, well, this person is obviously excited to meet me, as if their shoulders are slumped over and they're talking at you
Like
quietly,
right
and they're looking at you through their eyebrows, and they're just kind of mumbling. It's like, okay, well, this person is both has low confidence and they are really not interested in talking to me for whatever reason. But that, standing tall, chest out, chin up, not like too far back, but yeah, but you're not only having confidence in yourself, but you're showing, yeah, it's nice to meet you, man, and shake their hand and grip it. Don't, like you're saying, don't just float your hand out for them to just shake it. And also with body language is personal space. I remember one incident where this guy met me at the retreat. He put his arm around me. His face was about like this far from mine. I mean, I could
smell real nice, real nice.
Like Joe Biden. Like, I mean, I could see, like, I could smell his breath. I could see the veins in his eyes. Like, it's just like his nose hairs. Like, dude, get out of my bubble. Like,
it's like those like close-up SpongeBob. Like, it's like super detailed.
Like, I can see the junk in your pores. Like,
I don't need to see that.
Like, dude, pack up. Not only that, but he had his arm around me, so I couldn't like move away. It's like too close, man.
There's definitely a good distance, and I'm sure, and like most people know it too.
Well, some people do.
3 feet, I think, is probably pretty adequate or so. But like, some people are like right up in your face. So that's another good one. Yeah, that just makes you look creepy. Like, So not a good thing to do.
That's Like when that happened, I just thought, okay, this is a learning experience. I'm never going to do this, and I'm going to make it a goal to be far enough away from somebody that they can't put their arm around me and draw me in closer to their face. Like, hey, smell my coffee breath, man.
Oh, like, that's gross. That's a hygiene topic too, right?
Yeah.
It's like we don't have to. We could probably do a whole episode on this, but like, just, I mean, especially if you're going to meet people, like, look good and smell good. Like, put some gum in your mouth before you go.
Yeah.
Especially if it's been a while since you brushed your teeth. Clean your face. Wear decent clothes. It's not that hard, right? Deodorant. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is the basics, right? Just be presentable, right? I mean, that stuff, like, very noticeable, especially if you're in person, right?
Like, smelling good is never a bad thing in any situation. So why would you not always want to smell good?
Yeah. Take some time there.
Yeah. And I mean, when I haven't showered, like if I go a day without showering, I feel disgusting.
Yeah.
A whole other topic, but that's a very important one. Oh, another one is being empathetic, because I've met a lot of people, luckily only some people, not a lot, but they're just very coarse to talk to. It's like they have no sympathy for you at all. And I mean, you're not going to meet somebody and they're going to be, oh, tell me about your life story and sit down and talk to you. But it's always nice if somebody tells you a hardship, you say, oh man, I really feel for you. And again, look them in the eye, mean it. As opposed to when somebody tells you, like, oh, my family member just died. Oh, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. If you have a story that you can relate to, I don't know, like the worst case scenario, somebody, has cancer or something like that. If somebody's telling you that, and I'm sure you have somebody in your life that has gone through cancer. If it's a close person, I think there's a sense of community. If you can say, it's one thing to say, I understand, when you probably have no experience. But there's another thing to say, yes, I totally get where you're coming from, because I went through the same thing with my mom or whatever it is, right? And it's like, I don't know, it kind of brings it together a little bit. So that's a good tip.
Another one is don't talk bad about people.
Oh yeah.
Because
another good one. Yeah.
I was reading that even if you say so and so is a mean person, you're not talking about yourself, but the person that you're saying that to will still associate mean with you.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I'm telling you Ray is mean, you're still going to think I'm mean because I'm the one talking about it.
Yeah, so I feel bad, but like, I don't feel bad about it. I'm kind of like saddened by the fact that some of the people that are like, I would consider my closest friends or like closest colleagues, they do that, and I really respect these people, but so many people fall into that trap of, yeah, like gossiping about somebody, right? And I just think, I just don't contribute. I just, kind of go, right, right. But I never want somebody to hear, because it always makes its way back to that person, I'm sure, that, oh, Andrew said this or Andrew agreed with me. I'm just, I try to be very neutral with it. I try not to gossip. And again, it's very hard to, because when people start going, it's just hard to stop that. But, um, then I think about that person who was sharing this gossip. It's like, okay, well, if I'm not in the room, what are you saying about me?
Yeah,
Then you're kind of like, okay, I'm sure I'm being talked about in some capacity.
because I worked with somebody, and I think you kind of know what I'm talking about, who had something, at least one bad thing to say about everybody in the company. At least one.
Mm-hmm.
And then that person said, "Oh, I like you. I don't have a problem working with you." Like, do you really? Like, there's no way that you are bad mouthing everybody constantly, and then I'm just
you.
Mr. Wonderful. Like, I'm perfect. I'm an angel. Like, no way, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's no way that I'm just perfect in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you saying about me when I walk away? Because I guarantee you that there's something.
Oh yeah,
There's no way. It's just
yeah,
I'm the only one that, like, no.
yeah. You're
It's
like,
just,
social value decreases if you say bad things about somebody. It's like, yeah, just keep that to yourself. It doesn't do anybody any good. It makes, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't get it. So,
especially, and obviously, the more you do it, the more somebody is going to associate
mm-hmm.
that thing with you being
Mm-hmm.
negative. So it's like, oh, here comes
Mm-hmm.
so and so. I wonder what bad thing they're going to have to say this time. It's like,
yeah.
why would you start that?
It's a low class
about yourself?
activity.
Another one with talking to people is always admit your flaws. Because again, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, that's another bonding thing.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, everybody sucks. Everybody's bad at something. It's like, if you can relate that back to yourself, it's like, oh yeah, this person's an actual person. They're not like,
Because, and don't be a narc. Just like I said, everybody has flaws, and if you can lower yourself, you're relating to that person. I'm human too. I'm not levitating above the rest of the population. I don't have a halo around my head. Like it, I make mistakes just like everybody else. And I think especially if you're somebody of like a CEO or somebody of a higher social status, if you can let that person feel comfortable, like, yeah, I also go to the bathroom too. I also trip over my shoelaces. Just kind of lets people know, like, okay, I can relax around this person, not be, oh, yes, sir, and super tense all the time because you're trying to please that person.
Nobody's perfect. Yeah. Yeah. I like that one.
And just the last note that I want to talk about is loosen up. And we kind of talk about this, but nobody wants to talk to somebody that there's a lot of tension between you and that person. So if you can just be nice and friendly with everybody, yeah, because
slow down.
We've all had people, like I remember our first boss when we worked at the same place. I always felt super, super nervous talking to him because it was, oh, this is Mr. Mike and he's running the show of the whole company. I always felt like I'm talking to God when I was talking to him. I didn't like that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, everybody's a person. I think, maybe it's been good for me because I've been to a lot of, like, I guess, happy hour type stuff and, outside of work setting. Yeah, I think it's very easy to get, like, so rigid and so nervous around these, like, high up guys or women, right? Yeah, but then when you see these people outside of work, it's just like, oh, okay, this is a normal person, right? That's how I always try to think of this person. Like, yeah, you still need to respect them, just like you would anybody, but, like, I think that's something to keep in mind too. It's like, yeah, I think it's very easy after you've done it a few times just to realize, okay, yeah, this person is also just a person. Talk to them normally, slow. You don't have to be all nervous about it. Just takes time and practice, but yeah.
Yeah, just always be nice and friendly.
Yep. That's the bottom line.
So I think we'll wrap it up there. I want to thank you for tuning in.
Yep.
Goodbye.